I think it for him as in a position of director of cricket and obviously Worcester through and through, really wanting them to do well, it was very difficult for him. So a little bit more pressure on him. I actually didn't feel it as much when I got to sort of first team cricket. It was I think it was useful that I had to score a lot of runs in the second team, because then a lot of my teammates around me could see that that it was a logical progression for me and worth, deserved it in a way. So they kind of backed me. So that's always good when you've got people around you that you can see, I suppose, can justify you being picked and playing. So I think it was more difficult for Dad, but yeah, it's always there, 100%. I wouldn't be lying to say it wouldn't be, one of those thoughts.
I was about to say, because I just wanted to know that, because I suppose with anything, and especially in cricket, I was going to say the wider sporting sense, actually, there is always that extra weight of expectation, I think, on the person below. So, for example, let's just take Sachin Tendulkar for one example, right? Obviously, arguably the greatest batsman ever, right? Number one in terms of the all-time Test run scoring ranks. His son Arjun has now got massive, massive expectations on him right from the get-go. And the fact is, it must be quite difficult for Arjun because, what is he? I think he's 19 or 20, 21 years of age, right? He's not that old at all. And yet there's all this attention, there's all this focus on him. And in a way, I kind of think, and actually, George, I want to know your thoughts on this. Do you actually think at times that is a little bit damaging?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I think it can be. I mean, at the end of the day, though, you've got someone who's seen firsthand how to be a professional player in his father and do well. So, and he's actually a very good player. Arjan is. I've seen him play. He's actually a really good player. So he'll be thrusted into that professional environment probably from a young age, rightly so, regardless of who his dad is. So, there's always going to be so many pressures, I think, from going through the levels and getting to a professional player and even international player, I imagine. But there's several different variables that, I feel that can really, you've got to kind of master or get over in a way that to get to that next level. And he, that's just one of those. I don't think it's like something that can completely halt him in his tracks. He's going to probably be the best he can, and if people want to talk about him and his dad, then so be it. That's the way I kind of see it, and I guess that's the way I went about it a little bit. We were very different though. I was kind of a top order batter. Dad was a middle order batter, keeper. I sort of bowl some floaty off spin now and again as well. So we're very different in a sense. I think if I was a keeper, it might be slightly different. And interestingly, actually, I wanted to be a keeper. He never let me. He didn't let me keep. Yeah. So, which I think in now looking back is I'm glad, because it gave us a little bit of a disparity between him and me. So, but I kept picking his gloves up and he kept taking them off me, saying, "You don't want to do that. It's a mug's job." Yeah, he said,
did he actually say those words?
Catch every ball. You expected to catch every single ball, and as soon as you drop one, it's your fault, and you break fingers.
I can kind of relate to that. I'm not a wicketkeeper in cricket, but as a goalkeeper in football, oh my word, honestly.
Yeah.
You can play brilliantly all game. You make one mistake in like 10 or 11 matches, and you're vilified. It's an absolutely thankless task. And I suppose that is the same with keeping. But that's very, very interesting to hear then. And maybe in hindsight, having heard that, maybe there was some logic, some sound reasoning behind it. Because if you are too similar, I suppose those pressures, the weight of expectation would get even greater. It'd increase even more so. So interesting to know that Steve did that during your developmental
I wouldn't give him too much credit about forward thinking there, though. It's probably just he's just got a bad back and bad knees and broken fingers, and he just said, "Don't do it. So do something else. Be a fast bowler," which I tried and I was rubbish at.
I tried as well, George. Hey, yeah. I can relate to that. I was absolutely dreadful. And I don't want to go into the story too much, but one schools game. Oh, never, ever forget this. Never, ever forget this. I was really confident before the game. And we were doing okay at the time. And you know, I was ready to bowl, came on to bowl, and I thought, right, let's just get through this over, you know, concede what, 4 or 5 runs, you know, really put the screws on. Ended up conceding 5 wides. And that wasn't as in 5 wides, a foul coming off of a wide. That was 5 back to back to back to back to back wides.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that was the day that my career as Jimmy Anderson, unfortunately, ceased to exist, and I became a spin bowler. So who knows? Maybe it's for the best. And I will say, George, because you're also a fellow spinner, right? I think it is the better form of bowling. Would you agree with that, or do you prefer seam?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's common to have these conversations like, if you could be the best at something in the world, what would you be in cricket? And not many people see past someone who can bowl rapid. You can bowl 95 mile an hour. But I think that would just hurt too much over time. You break your back and all sorts. So yeah, I think for me, number one would be a gun left arm spinner, or maybe like a gun, like a Rashid Khan, spin it both ways, quick, travel the world, earn loads of money. You know, that skill set is, you know, it's an art, isn't it? But, or maybe Ashwin. Actually, Ashwin's quite attractive, isn't he? As a sort of he's got so many skills. And yeah, I mean, it's just conventional finger rolling for me, really. It's nothing too exciting, unfortunately. Nothing too exciting.
Well, who knows, George? I mean, there's still time before the season. Work on the carve
Yeah,
ball.
no, absolutely. I've tried that and I haven't got it. I don't mind telling anyone I've not got a carrom ball.
Neither have I. Do you know what's really funny as well? I tried doing, you know, the Liam Livingston, where he bowls leg breaks and off spin. I tried
Yeah.
that in the nets last year, and one of the leg breaks ended up on the top of the net. So that's, again, my journey as a budding Shane Warner's also not gone great. I think, if anything, the cricketing gods are telling me, Aaron, stay in your lane, be an off spinner.